What's up, everyone? It is Monday, February 10th, 2025. It's the MMAOB Daily Podcast. I'm your host, as always, Adam Martin, and I'm joined by a co-host here, Mr. Big Marcel. We're going to recap UFC 312 in this podcast, and then we'll do a second podcast right after, guys, previewing UFC Vegas 102, Cannonier versus Rodriguez. You know what's funny, Marcel? If we keep doing this podcast until we're gray and old, we'll probably be doing like UFC Vegas 1000 at one point. It's pretty crazy, man. So, especially with how many events they do at the Apex. But glad to be here, Marcel. Always looking forward to the podcast. Appreciate you guys joining us here on Monday evening. Obviously, Super Bowl was last night. I was watching it. Did you end up watching it, Marcel, or did you check it out?
I watched it from start to finish. Yes, I did.
I mean, it was a blowout game. It wasn't I was hoping for a close game. Last year's game, Marcel, went to overtime, right? It's more exciting, I think. Like yesterday, you knew after about the first half that Philly was going to win, right? Probably after the first quarter. So, they dominated the game, obviously. But yeah, we didn't do the show. I know some people were asking about it. Let's be realistic, man. I mean, no one would have been in the comments. Let's be honest, Marcel.
Yeah.
We would have had like two guys in the comments. So glad to be here on Monday, man. How are you doing? Glad to see you again, Marcel. Always look forward to talking with you, man.
Yeah, man, doing well. Not much else to say. I'm doing well. Hope you're doing well as well.
I'm same old, man. Same old.
Yeah, same.
So glad to be here, though, guys, with you guys. Obviously, it's always fun to talk MMA with you. Let's go to the comments here. We got Antoine. What's up, Antoine? Glad to have you here, man. Yeah, we'll talk about the broken nose. I think there's two broken noses on the main card, which is crazy, Marcel. What's up, Dana? Your 5 picks, 312.
I said 5 picks, main card picks. I only was right in DDP. So
you know what? It was a weird card. We'll talk about the picks in a second. I want to address that. Obviously, it's the first thing we'll address. What's up, man? I love this guy's name, though. Local man shakes fist, Marcel. Shaking the fist.
Marcel, you know everything about it. Adam knows everything about it. That's why we were 5 minutes late. Adam had to finish something.
These days, yes. Stop, Antoine. I know it's crazy. We'll get to 500 one. I mean, that's what, maybe 7-8 years away from now, something like that. I have to actually wait. I'm talking about 7 or 8 years. That'd be UFC 400. 15 years. We'll get there eventually. What's up, Joe? Glad. Oh, Joe, the Eagles fan. There we go. There's our guy Marcel. Our guy Joe gets the win. Joe, it wasn't even a sweat for you, man. Like, you didn't have to get nervous. So, congrats, man, on your team. What's up, Andrew? Glad to have you here. Call us the goats. I mean, we'll take it. Marcel's the goat, and I'm just the sidekick. I'm the Billy goat, the little goat, Marcel.
I don't see myself as a goat, never. And
Marcel is the normal. I've been Marcel's friend for a while, and like, he's just a normal guy. You know what I mean? He doesn't let it get to his head like some other people do. He's not like that, man. So that's why we love you, Marcel. What's up, Ray? Yeah, we'll talk about the card. I mean, I think they got the fight in the night correct. I'll just say that, but we'll talk about the card in a minute. What's up, Clayton? Feels like UFC responded to complaints about fight nights last year, putting some quality fight nights on pay-per-views are lacking. I mean, I think you're 100% right, man. I personally, I didn't think it was the greatest card, but we'll talk about it in a minute. We got Colby Covington in the chat, apparently. Because Adam's there acting like he lost. I mean, I didn't have a great night though, Dana. Like, I got the last couple of picks wrong. I've been doing pretty good with my picks this year. This was my worst card by far. I say we get into it, Marcel. Honestly,
that's what she said.
Yeah, of course. Let's pull up trusty UFCstats.com. We'll go through the card, guys. We'll recap it for you. I mean, to be fair, like, I looked at the staff picks. No one really did great. I think Nick actually did the best, our boss. I think he did the best. He's actually been on a good roll this year. What's up, Tristan? We got Tristan in the chat, too. What's up, brother? Your girl lost, Tristan. Your girl, Bruno, she lost, man. I know you had a little bit of a crush on her, so too bad, but maybe next time. All right, let's get to the card. I'll ask you this right now before we even get into it. Like, what did you think of the card overall? Out of 10, what would you give it? Because I know my thought, but I want to hear yours.
6.5. I thought it was okay, but I didn't think it was great. It was not like. But the thing was, I wasn't even like before we went into the card. I didn't have high hopes or anything. So yeah. It was like. And it was a little bit one-sided as well. The main event was one-sided. The co-main event was one-sided. Yep. I think only on the main card, only Bellado against Crute was pretty evenly matched. I think all the other ones were pretty one-sided, man. And it was overall wasn't a great card. I think one fight got really not much love, which should have got more love. It was Jenkins against Santos. But overall, the card I give it a 6.5, and then I'm really nice because I could give it a little bit lower, but I'm going 6.5.
this is crazy because like usually here's the thing. So I mean, I'm as Marcel calls me, Mr. Optimistic, right, Marcel? That's what your nickname is for me. Usually when we do our our predictions and we'll give a rating on 10, mine's usually a point higher than you, Marcel, or half a point, we'll say, okay? This card, I'll just be honest, this card kind of sucked in my opinion, guys. I didn't think this was a great card. A lot of one-sided fights. It doesn't help my picks were bad, but just in general, like I think it just wasn't a great card. Like going into it, there was a few fights in the main card that should have been there and a few that should have been like prelims. I actually, to be honest with you, I think the best portion of the card was the early prelims, the first 3 fights. The first 3 fights, I was like, holy shit, these fights are good. This card's going to be amazing. And then it kind of tapered off after that, in my opinion. Like there was a few, fights here and there. Like you said, the Jenkins fight. I actually thought the Blotto fight was pretty good, to be honest with you. I thought
it was fun.
Yeah, it was a fun fight. So out of 10, I mean, this is being, I think a 5 is honestly, I think it's generous for me. I think a 5 is a generous call. I wanted to even say 4, but after, talking about it a little bit with you now, we did talk a bit on Saturday as well after the card. I sent you a voice message. I'm like, Marcel, this card wasn't good, man.
Yeah, you were really hating it.
I just didn't think it was a great card, man. I really didn't.
Understand. It wasn't
great.
Yeah.
I'm hoping actually. I know the Fight Night card doesn't have the sexiest names this weekend. I think the card might be better, entertainment wise, personally. But also, I think the one thing is, Marcel, a lot of the time when you do talk about these cards, it's like, okay, maybe the fights weren't the best, but they were relevant to the division. With this card, it really wasn't like that. You had 2 fights with ranked fighters, right?
Bro, I normally always write like, how do you say that? How do you say that? What they're going to do next, an article, on Monday. Yeah. I'm doing an article like, what's next for these fighters. I didn't even want to do it. It's like fucking 2 winners that would. I always write about the winners then.
Sure.
That could care about, what's the main and co-main event. All the others were like just not really important fights for division.
I think there's a few fights peppered out that were like pretty good, but overall,
but
very average card.
Here's the thing, like,
the one thing I'll say is like we can't always give cards good ratings because if you're always giving a card a 6 or a 7 or even an 8, like what are the cards that are 3 or 4s? Maybe this is one of them.
To be honest, I agree with Andrew here, man. I mean, you guys have to pay fucking $80 for a pay-per-view. That should be worth the money, you know what I mean?
The thing is, like, I'm going downtown. I went downtown to do the live stream with the guys at Sports Interaction, which is always fun. I go down for the pay-per-views. They've been asking me to come down for about a year now. It's I got to drive downtown. It's a nice little drive, and then I don't go downtown too much. I live in the suburbs, so it's nice to get down there. I don't pay for the card, so it's like it's free. Plus, I get paid to do the stream because it is work, right? But if I had to pay for it, I think I'd be like even like more like critical of the card, to be honest with you. So I know a lot of people did pay $80 in the chat. Some people probably use the stream. Let's be fair, but
you know what it is for me. Like in the Netherlands, we have a different kind of how do you say that? We pay like $15 a month and we get everything.
Yeah, but the thing is, like they can't ask you to pay that because it's in the middle of the night.
Yeah, I understand, but still, man. I mean, $80. You expect at least, like, let's say from the 4 pay-per-view worthy fights, and there were only 2 on it, to be honest.
I agree. All right, let's get through the comments. I don't want to sit here and be too negative, but I'm just giving my honest opinion. Shamil, that was the last card. Davis says 5.5. Okay, so he's about the same as me. Tristan says 6. We're all kind of in the same. Andrew 5. I agree with that. The prelims, I think, were Marcel, I think the prelims were better than the main card. Is that fair?
Yeah, I agree.
That's not a good thing, though, is it?
No, never.
Cody Steele, we'll talk about his fight in a minute. That actually was a great fight. Weili, what's up, Jamie? Glad to have you here. What's up, West Coast? You didn't get it, eh? Did you watch it though? Wink, wink. Did you guys think eventually the raise? Yeah, I think they raise them like every couple of years with inflation and everything. There will be a time I think where it's $100. I do think.
Oh yeah.
Probably within like maybe 20 years, maybe even less than that, maybe 10 to 15 years.
Look how much ticket prices already cost, man.
It's funny you say that because someone asked Dana about that at the press conference. Did you see that? And he's like, our tickets aren't that expensive. They're compared to other sporting events. What is he talking about? They're like one of the – listen, I've been to a lot of UFCs. I don't mind paying for the tickets because I think it's worth it. Usually do get a really good show.
It's fun, yeah.
But it is expensive. You can't and say like, oh, it's comparable. Like, because I can go get Toronto Raptor tickets for like really cheap, dude. That's a professional basketball team in Toronto. The team sucks, to be fair. Well, they don't – I guess they're not completely the worst team. But they're like a bottom 10 team in the NBA, right? So you can get cheap tickets. Now, compared to the Maple Leafs, really expensive. So it's like, it just depends on who the team is, right? Really. But for me, it's like, being a UFC fan is expensive. It always has been. It always will be. You have to pay for pay-per-views, whatever, TV to get the prelims, Fight Pass, tickets if you go to an event. It's an expensive sport to follow. It is. I think it's worth it. I've loved the sport. I made a career of it. So have you. So for me, it's all part of the gig. But taking a step backwards to the casual fan, I can see why people think it's really expensive. Go ahead.
Yeah, look at the comparison. Like when I was, I've went to UFC Rotterdam and UFC Hamburg. It was in 2016, 2017.
Yeah.
I almost was like in the first ring. I could see clearly the octagon. 2016 in Germany, Hamburg.
Yeah.
I paid 125 euros, and that's around $150.
Way more than that. There was a card I went to with my ex. Like I went to the Covington and Usman card, and we had like upper deck seats. They were 500 American. I mean, that was in 2019. I think it's even more expensive now. So and that's for like the upper bowl at T-Mobile. So, I mean, I can get media pass because I am media, so that helps. But I had been to a bunch as a fan before it was media, and it was back in the day. It wasn't too much, but now it is expensive. Anyways, I'm not here to complain about the cost because it is part of the sport. It is what it is. That's the price to pay. But I just think it's kind of disingenuous of Dana to say like, it's on par with other sports. I don't think that's fair. Like I can go see the Toronto Blue Jays, Marcel, for like $10, like $10, or Toronto Raptors, maybe like $20. The seat's not great, but I'm just saying I get in the building for a fight night card or a pay-per-view, a couple hundred, it's not even comparable in my opinion. And like the gate was 7.7 million. They couldn't have given Gabriel Santos a $50K bonus on this card. Come on, Marcel. Bro, the bonus is $50K. They announced that 10 years ago. They got to increase the bonuses, don't you think?
Yeah, and to be honest, listen, the Saul Kilt, he did well, but the Santos finish was way better, But they probably gave it to Saul Kilt because he's from Australia.
I don't mind. It was a nice knockout. Anyways,
no, it was okay, But I mean, if you have to compare, if you only want to give two bonuses, for finish, I mean, I'm cool with the Sarah, But I think Santos should definitely got a bonus. That's my opinion.
All right, let's get some other comments and we'll get to the card, guys. If you were compared to 10 other rampagers, we had 2 or 3. I mean, it might be. You might watch UFC pay-per-views at Wing House. Is that like? Is that a place by your house or something?
Wings.
Yeah, for sure. Wings. That's the thing. I used to go out for wings with my friends and watch. Yeah, I know. Actually, to be fair though, I think the crew fight was actually the best fight in the main card. Like overall, I think it was.
It was fun.
Maybe not the best technically, but most entertaining. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Most entertaining?
Yeah, for sure.
Didn't watch? Okay, fair enough. We'll recap it for you, man. What's up, Chris? Yeah, well, I don't. Me, Marcel are not. Marcel and I should say are not Americans. So there you go. When you guys draft that prospect, I know. I agreed, Antoine. I'm looking forward to that. Price hikes aren't from inflation. Ari Emanuel projecting UFC's network be astronomical. I mean, you're not wrong about that. That's fair. Yeah. All right. It is expensive, no doubt. You're not wrong. I'm just saying, like,
it's what I always say to you, right, Adam? It's like it's not to talk down, but most people watching mixed martial arts, that sport, it's not people coming for money, So it's not like it's easy for them to give like $80, $90 for a pay-per-view like every single month, and sometimes twice a month, because you got like 14 pay-per-views every year. So I mean, the UFC also people who want to attend to the event, you kind of screwing like old fans, who were always supported the UFC, and now you're gonna raise like fucking prices to like super high. I know there are a lot of people who can pay it, but there are also probably people who want to attend the UFC event who just can't pay it. It's like
then you can watch it on TV, right? So
okay, but you understand what I mean, It's like it's a little bit too much.
Then you go to a bar and you spend, $40-$50 on beer and wings or whatever it is. Or maybe you can just get a glass of water and sit there. I don't do that, but some people probably do. All right, I'd say we get into the card. Enough complaining for me and Marcel. Mostly me. Let's get into the card. Okay, so I do want to address this. Obviously, like, I had a rough day with my picks. They weren't great. I only got 5 right in this whole card. I think you got 5 or 6, Marcel. It was about the same.
Yeah, really bad.
Yeah, I think, like I said, I think everyone did pretty bad. Most people didn't do great in this card. Probably a little better than me, to be fair, but I didn't see anyone out there having like a massive night, because the thing with this card was like, I figured there'd be some upsets, but here's the thing, like the upsets happened in the fights where I was kind of iffy on and not the ones I picked. And then the favorites that ended up losing were not the ones I thought would lose. So it was kind of one of those weird nights where you kind of get a middle of the tier, pick score. So, it sucks. I mean, I'm not going to apologize for my picks because like they're well thought out, but they just didn't get there, Marcel. So it was one of those nights. Sucked.
Bro,
Last week was a great week, and then this week was just bad. So
I never apologize for my picks. I always say I'm an idiot. So I mean, if you tell me, that's on you, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
What I think, you know?
For sure. I still don't want to give like losing picks up, but it's going to happen, right? I mean,
nobody
have
wants
bad nights. Yeah, I agree.
Bro, if we always were right, we were like fucking rich. You know what I mean?
We have a castle, bro. We'd be sitting in the king of the castle. You're 100% right, my friend. All right, let's get into the card. Let's start the main event. Dricus du Plessis defeats Sean Strickland unanimous decision. 50-45, 50-45, 49-46. It was a complete blowout, let's be fair. I mean, like if you look at the stats, it was actually really close, but that's not how it looked on like when I was watching it. I picked Strickland. The fight went how I thought it would, Marcel. It did because it stayed standing. I think Strickland just didn't do enough in this fight. Like he just did. I know it says he landed 128 strikes. It sure didn't feel like it in this fight. Didn't feel like it, man, when I was watching it. Like it felt like Dricus landed more strikes and the bigger strikes. Like he landed all those kicks early on. That really helped him. He only actually landed one takedown. There was not much wrestling in this fight. He only shot 2 takedown attempts. I thought he'd wrestle more. So I think Sean could have won this fight. I think it was there for the taking. He just didn't throw enough volume, in my opinion, like to steal the rounds and didn't land any big shots at all. Obviously, you guys nose smash later in the fight. That didn't help. But like, you know, I just compared to the first fight, like that was a razor thin fight. This fight was very definitive. Like we don't need to see a trilogy ever. So great win for Dricus, 8-0 now in the UFC. Fantastic performance, really, when you think about it. But I just feel like Strickland, actually, sorry, Dricus is 9-0, not 8-0. I think they wrote 7-0 on the screen. That's why I thought that. He's 9-0.
Yeah,
so he's in the UFC. But yeah, I just was disappointed by Sean. I thought he could have did more in this fight, and he's screwed now. He's not going to get another title shot. Go ahead. Yeah.
I laughed so hard when Sean got his nose busted, and then he just resets it, and then he walks to his corner to Eric Nix. He's like, "Yeah, broke my nose, but I reset it."
Yeah,
that's so hard when he said that.
I know,
like it was the most normal thing to do, you know.
He's a crazy guy. By the way, I kind of agree with this guy, like with the staff thing. I mean, maybe it did affect him a little bit. It's hard to say, but he just didn't throw as many strikes as he usually does. Like, I want to double check. So it says he threw 263. It didn't feel like that though.
We will never know for sure, man. You know, it's like the thing is like when he fights. The thing is, Sean fights always the same. He walks to you, and he jabs a lot. You know.
Hold on, right before, I want to get your opinion, just really quick. I do want to look at the stats because I am because the guy just said that. I want to be sure. Sorry, Marcel. I want to hear your thoughts. So this fight, he attempted 263 significant strikes. That's what the stats say. Last fight cost it 402. The fight with the first fight, Dricus, 419. So his output was like half. When you think about it, that is a big difference. Okay, so I'm glad my eyes weren't deceiving me. He didn't throw much. Go ahead. I want to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, the thing was like I didn't also feel like Dricus threw a lot, but he threw a lot harder and more. You know, more different stuff. He also had some spinning back kicks and some high kicks. You know, everything that Dricus landed was harder than what Sean landed. I had the feeling, and it's just like Sean was walking forward, but he didn't really advance for some reason. And yeah, I thought Dricus won all 5 rounds. I think you had 1 round. You were 50-50 on, I think, the 3rd or the 4th round, was it?
Yeah, I think it was the 3rd round. Second or 3rd round. Yeah.
But
like you could have easily given it 50-45. I almost think generous. I gave Strickland a round. Like
I mean,
one of the judges did too.
Yeah,
one of the judges did. So I felt a little better about it when I saw that. I was like, man, I'm crazy here. But I mean, it was a blowout, right? It was actually kind of like the football game last night. Like you knew who was going to win.
Yeah, it was like everything was pretty much the same the whole damn time, you know. And definitely after he bust up his nose, it went even worse. You know, you saw like Sean was just really trying to hang in the fight. You know, he didn't want to give up. And
he's tough as hell. I mean, you give him
for sure. And also the people who are hating on Sean, saying like, "No, he's back at the apex."
Bro, they're all coming out of the woodwork now, Marcel.
Yeah,
right?
But dude, Sean is so popular with a lot of people, and there are people hating him, obviously. But he's so popular by a lot of people. They're not going to put him back at the apex.
There's so many people saying that this guy sucks. This guy's a fraud. This guy should have never been a champion. This guy stinks. Oh yeah, really? This is the same guy that like pretty much did the same thing. Whatever Dricus did to Sean last night, you know that Sean did that to Nazardine like 2 years ago. Marcel did the same thing, won every round. Same with Izzy. With Izzy, everyone loves Izzy. Sean destroyed him.
The problem is people should try to take away personal thoughts about somebody. That's just the thing, you know. And a lot of people think it's like really boring, like jab, walking through. I understand that, you know, but dude is popular, you know. Even in Australia, he got the biggest roar, and Dricus got booed when he came out. You know, I don't like that shit, but it happens, you know, that somebody gets booed. But I mean, that says a lot, you know. A lot of people like the dude, so I mean, yeah.
Well, it's fair. Again, though, I really think that the lack of volume, because I'm looking at the other fights. The Cannonier fight, which was a close fight, he threw over 400 strikes. The fight with Imavov, how many threw in that one? He threw over 400 strikes. The fight with Israel, okay, it was the same amount with Israel, but I mean, Israel was so compromised after he got knocked down that fight was not really competitive. How about the Hermanson fight? That one, about 350. Fight with Uriah Hall, almost 500 strikes thrown. I mean, you're talking about a 50% reduction in volume, basically. It wasn't enough strikes thrown. Maybe the staff had something to do with it. I don't know. I'm not sure, but yeah, I'm not here to shit on Strickland like everyone else is doing. Everyone's just piling on the guy right now. This guy sucks. This guy's racist. This guy's sexist. Marcel, I think he's fucking a gem, dude. I think he's hilarious. And I know you feel the same way.
Listen, man. Does he say some weird ass stuff sometimes on Twitter or whatever? Yeah, for sure he does. You know, do I agree with it all the time? Definitely.
He's not the smartest guy in the room. Let's be honest.
At the same time, I mean, I can enjoy his how do you say that? His pressers and that kind of stuff. You know,
he's funny.
Yeah,
Dricus is funny too. Actually, I think Dricus is
I think so too.
Pretty underrated funny. By the way, a lot of people are asking about. That's something he threw. He landed like Izzy. He landed 137, but he only threw like 250. But again, like that was a different fight because Izzy wasn't throwing anything back at him. That's the difference. People were asking about go ahead. Sorry.
Adam, the problem is people thinking something's way too personal. You know what? I mean, Sean also said like, I don't like fat people. Oh my god, I'm so hurt. You know, I mean, what the hell? Who cares?
Sean also talked shit about our boy Alex. That's our guy.
Yeah. I mean,
it's funny because he actually was like insulting Alex, and Alex fucking loves him. So,
and I think he called Jose Youngs the gay pirate or something. I mean,
that was hilarious.
Whatever, you know,
it wasn't like I mean, it's funny. He went. I know it's funny. Like he actually went after Alex Lee too from MMA Fighting. I think he was last right. I think Alex doesn't hate him by any means. Like he doesn't hate him. Like if you look at Alex, how he scores, because I follow him on Twitter. You know, we know each other.
Alex scored it for him against DDP actually the first.
No, I'm talking about not Alex Pereira, Alex Lee.
Lee. He scored it for him.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yes, that's what I'm saying. He's fair in his scorecards. Like he puts the personal opinion away. That's what I was trying to say. Sorry, Marcel. I thought you were talking about. I thought you said Alex cornered him, not scored for him. Because I'm like, no, not Alex Pereira, Alex Lee. Pereira was
we were talking about the same person.
That's funny, yeah. Anyways, I mean, like, let's go to DDP. Amazing performance, obviously. People are asking in the chat, Hamza and him. The odds are out. He's the underdog. Hamza's like 2-1 favorite. Like, I don't know. Like, I've been pretty good at picking DDP fights. Obviously, I got this one wrong, but I've been pretty good at picking his fights. Not sure about this one, man. I mean, Hamza's so dominant with the wrestling. Like, we haven't seen anyone really wrestle DDP since what was it? Brunson, I think, right?
Yeah,
Brunson. I don't know.
It's difficult, man.
It is hard. Like, does Hamza have the cardio for 5 rounds if it goes there? I don't know.
Is it fair to say the longer the fight takes, more DDP, I think, is a favorite?
Yes.
As crazy as that sounds, actually, you know?
It's funny because, like, when he came, dude, people used to shit on him, which is crazy.
Yeah.
The MMA are fucking weird, man. I'm telling you. Even and the media, too. Like, people are shitting on this guy, Dricus. This guy sucks. This guy's style's garbage. This guy's bad cardio. This guy's going to get project, and he keeps winning. Go ahead.
Did you hear what Bisping said, man, after the 3rd or 4th round? Like, DDP is really guessing, I feel like. I was like, dude, he fights like that every time. You know?
It did look like he was getting a little bit tired, but he found his second win again. He's
always.
All fights, every fight. Same with Izzy. The same fight, actually. Sorry, the last fight, I should say, not the same fight. The last
felt like it was the momentum shifting to Izzy.
Dude, I was like, Izzy's coming along, and then bang, he drops him, or he didn't drop him, but he hurt him, and then he tapped him out. So yeah. For Sean, I think the only fight that makes sense for Sean is Whitaker, right? You like that fight?
Makes a lot of sense, man. I think the Whitaker. Yeah, why not? I mean, it's a fight both guys I think really like, so why not?
They were talking in the press. You watched the press conference, right?
I did.
a few of these Australian guys mentioned they might go to New Zealand for a card, and Dana's like, I have to check. I don't know. I have no idea. I'm sure he knows and just doesn't want to say, by the way. I think that'd be a great main event for New Zealand, don't you?
Thank you so much for coming to Sydney, Adam. We were so happy for you. What a great event, Dana.
How about the end when they all clapped for him after he said thanks, guys, and they all start clapping? What do you think of that, Marcel?
That's so crazy, man. But whatever.
You're so funny, dude. What's up, True? Glad to have you here. Drew's been killing you. He had a great event.
What's up, True?
A lot of these guys like Strickland and Izzy too. I don't hate that either. I mean, I if they want to do that, I don't mind it. It might be a different fight. Like if Izzy doesn't get dropped in the first round of that fight, maybe it goes differently.
I honestly feel like Izzy got an immediate title shot, which he didn't. I have nothing against Izzy, but he honestly didn't deserve it. Then he fought Imavov. He lost in that fight. I think he should fight somebody like Baralho or some other up and comer.
Well, I almost think I'd rather see Bahat. I know it doesn't. It's not like they shouldn't have to fight, but maybe they should just do Khamzat and DDP, and then they do Bahayo and Imavov for the next.
Yeah, that's okay. That's also
because the thing is with Bahayo, he's just sitting around. What's he up to? Like he can't keep waiting around. He had that great. It's funny. He destroys Cannonier Marcel, and he's still sitting out. And Cannonier's fighting this weekend. We're gonna break down this fight after this. It's crazy, right? So. What's up, Pato? Between Whitaker and DDP, Whitaker's the hardest fight for Khamzat. I mean, I think we both picked Whitaker, if I'm not mistaken. He obviously got his jaw crushed in the round, but again, like if that fight goes past the first round, who knows? It might be different.
Yeah, we were wrong. We were wrong. That almost never happens.
Yeah, it happens all the time. Let's go back to the card. Weili Zhang defeats Tatiana Suarez, unanimous decision. Another really dominant performance here. By Zhang, I mean really like Marcel after the first round pretty much dominated the fight. Not the most exciting fight, but very effective fight from her. Over 10 minutes of control time, a lot of ground control and strikes landing on the ground. Tatiana, as we say, Marcel, what happened? You know what she did in this fight, right?
What do you mean?
Tatiana, what happened? What did she do in this fight? She laid an egg. She laid an egg.
Oh, yeah, of course. Like you always say. Yeah, she did, man. After the first round, it was like, it almost felt like, and maybe I'm wrong, but it almost felt like that Tatiana was like, once I got Weili down to the ground, it's over.
Yeah.
And it wasn't, Weili was like 5 times better than her striking. You saw that at the moment Tatiana wasn't being able anymore to get Weili to the ground, and she even got reversed, you knew it was over. You knew it was over from that moment, and it was already the second round, I think. And Tatiana was gassing a lot, very hard. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't underestimate Weili, but I overestimated Tatiana.
Yeah, I did too. I agreed. So, I felt the same way. Like I knew Weili was great. I mean, I picked her in so many fights. Mm-hmm. She's an amazing champion, amazing fighter. She's going to be a Hall of Famer.
For sure, 100%.
But I think the thing is, we've been saying Todd's going to be a champ for so long now that we kind of forget like. She's getting up there. I know that Weili's a little bit older, but Tatiana never fights. That's the problem. She didn't have. We underestimated the lack of 5-round experience. I think that was something. Is that fair to say? We underestimated that. Would that be fair?
For sure, but I also think like Weili is something special. I think as long as Weili stays at 115, I don't think Tatiana will be getting close to a title.
No. So I wouldn't call this like a fraud check because she lost to like a Hall of Famer, but. I think she laid an egg, and I'll say this. She got exposed. I'll say that. She got exposed as being extremely one-dimensional. She has no striking at all. None. She had no striking. Marcel, she landed 12 strikes in the fight. 12 in 25 minutes. It's not good, dude. And how many takedowns she had? She landed 1 takedown, dude. She had a horrible performance. And I saw, what's funny? I saw a tweet by Jack Slack, who's like an MMA analyst. I'm sure you saw the tweet where he made a joke saying, like, when are we going to, or something like, it was like, when are we going to have women fighters? They don't have their husbands in their corner as their head coach. Like, it's actually really fucking stupid that she had Patchy Mix as her head coach. And I was like, why? Like, it's okay if he's behind the cage. Marcel, when they have the couple guys behind the fence, he should have never been her head corner for this fight. Like, I don't care if you're a champion in Bellator or PFL or wherever, even in the UFC, you need an actual coach there, like, in your corner, in front of you, telling you the instructions. I thought she got really bad coaching advice in this fight. Personally, I don't know if it would have changed anything. I'm not saying that, Marcel, but you get your chance to be a champ. Get an actual head coach in there. Why was Eric Nixick not her corner for this fight? I'm a little confused by that. Do you know why?
No idea.
Weird, right? I don't know. It was odd. She got completely exposed. I think for Zhang, a lot of people are saying move to 125. That's fine. If she wants to go up and fight Valentina or Fiorot, whoever wins, fine.
Yeah, but I have a problem with people now saying like Valentina should fight Zhang. I think Fiorot deserves a chance. She
for
should be
sure.
first.
I know some people are saying like let's skip. Man, no, she deserved it.
Yeah.
But I still feel like there's fights at 120, 115 too. I know a lot of people are gonna laugh, but I still think the Mackenzie Dern fight is a fight that you could market and sell because Mackenzie's marketable. I also feel like if Virna wins, I actually think Marcel, is this crazy to say? I think Virna might give Zhang a somewhat difficult fight. Like fair, I don't know. Am I crazy for thinking that Virna?
Yeah, I think that's possible, but at the same time, Virna's striking is also not great,
I wouldn't pick her, but I'm just saying, like, I think,
But Virna deserves it over Mackenzie, in my opinion. So.
Oh, for sure. But again, sex sells, right? We talk about this.
Yeah, I know.
The other option is Rose. I mean, here's the thing. I think Rose doesn't get enough credit. She beat her twice. Rose also beat Joanna twice, too. Rose doesn't get any credit. Everyone keeps talking about, now it's Weili's the GOAT of 115. Who's the GOAT, Joanna or Weili? Why are we forgetting about Rose? Rose is such a great fighter.
The problem is they all lost to each other,
And Carla too, right?
Yeah. Joanna lost to Zhang and Rose. Rose lost to Carla. Zhang lost to Rose. Rose lost to Andrade, I think. Right? Yeah.
Yeah. No, Rose lost twice to Carla.
And twice to Carla, yeah, indeed, yeah.
Carla lost twice to...
to Joanna, lost to Zhang. Won against Rose. Yeah.
I know, it's weird. Anyways, guys, like, if she wants to stay 115, I think, there's fights for her. But if she goes to 125, I think it's great. I just think that Fiorot should get the shot next. And, I mean, there's still other fighters, like, around, Marcel, that could get title shots. Like, Macy Barber's around at 125. Jasmine, Fiorot, Blanchfield. I mean, I'm not saying the girls would beat Valentina, but
just forget Natalia Silva, of course. Yeah.
And Natalia, I was going to pull up the rankings. I forgot
you motherfucker.
I know. And Natalia, right? We'll see what happens here, but Mick. I mean, I love Tachi Mix as a fighter and everything, but like, he shouldn't have been her head corner for this fight. And I don't know. You saw Ann Evans making a joke that you know what Ann Evans is? You know who he is?
I know.
For UFC. Yeah. He was saying like how they had a dinner once with like all the he said when they brought the women fighters to UFC like 10 years ago or whatever. He said they had a dinner, invite all the UFC, like all the top women fighters. He said like most of them were with their coaches, which were their husbands or like their boyfriends. Like and this happens a lot in MMA. It's really weird to me actually. I think it's one of these things where these guys are so like. I mean, I'm not saying even Patrick, just in general, Marcel. They're very like, I need to be there for my girl. I don't want to see her get hurt. Not saying in this case, but. And they're very like I don't want them talking to other guys. They're very whatever the word is, like insecure.
I mean, at the same time as of course like that's their work, and probably
I think you shouldn't mix work and personal though, right?
Yeah, I know, but listen, Adam, if you go to work and that's where you go like 9 out of 10 times, it's possible that you found your future husband or future wife.
I agree. And I think in certain cases, like I'll give you an example, like Victoria Leonardo. Her head coach is her husband, but she's not she's not even in the UFC. She's not a champion fighter. You're in a championship fight. You should have your best coach there. And Tatiana does work at Extreme Couture. Like she should have one of the coaches there in her corner. So that's just my opinion. Probably wouldn't have changed anything, but just food for thought. Hamza versus Dricus. I mean, it comes down to can he take him down? I think he can. So. But can he finish him early, right? That's what it comes down to, Marcel. Actually, it doesn't come down to if he can take him down, because he will take him down. But can he finish Dricus? Can he finish him? Maybe. Gareth McClellan, I think, submitted Dricus in the UFC Africa. So that was 10 years ago, but we'll see. What strawweight prospect? Probably strawweight. I thought you said flyweight. Because I was going to say Natalia. Right, Marcel? Strawweight prospect? I mean, is that girl Landy Silva? Is she strawweight?
Yeah, she is.
There you go. That girl that had the crazy head kick. There you go. But honestly, Yasmin Lucindo, I think maybe she could, keep going high up in the ranks. She's very good and young.
Yeah, but you were kind of off on her after that Marina Rodriguez.
I didn't love her performance, but she's only 22, right? So
yeah,
I'm just saying like she can get better. Yeah. Natalia 125. Hamza Dricus bigger fight of the year. It's gonna be a big fight. Izzy Darius.
Natalia's 125, man.
Yeah. I think some of them might be pulled from the rankings at some point. because we actually just saw Jack Hermanson get pulled. Who was the other guy that got pulled?
I think they pulled Amanda Ribas from the flyweight.
They pulled a few fighters. The Jack Hermanson one. Okay, so if they're going to pull Jack because he hasn't fought in a year, I can kind of understand it. But you're pulling him and then you're putting in Bo Nickel over Gregory Rodriguez with 7 wins and fighting in a main event. Or Joe Pyfer even. I'd rather have Joe Pyfer than Bo Nickel, personally. Bo, I think, probably beats Joe Pyfer, to be honest with you. He probably takes him down. But, I think Gregory Rodriguez, Marcel, 7-2. Why is he not in the rankings? It's kind of weird.
It's the rankers. It's not the UFC this time, But there's the people who fill in the rankings who have probably Bo. They were probably like, Bo was just outside of the top 15. We're putting him now in the top 15. Now these two are out.
Yeah.
There's something like that. So
you're not wrong.
Yeah.
Hamza, I'm not going to say that true. Is Hamza sub or bust? I mean, I don't say sub or bust because I think you could probably ground and pound him too. But can he strike with DDP? Maybe for a bit. I think if the fight goes long, he's going to get hurt in that fight. He'd get beat up a bit. It looked like the Gilbert Burns fight, I think. He did win that fight, obviously. I still think if that fight with Gilbert was 5 rounds, he probably would have lost. But again, this is a middleweight. There's a lot of things to think about. Hamza, I think, is the rightful favorite here. As good as Dricus is, Hamza's never lost in his whole career.
Yeah,
and
true.
really never, other than Burns fight, has never really been compromised. Do you guys have any inside information on look at this? The Hamza Boris Chimaev superfan. What's up, man? Any inside info, Dricus and Chimaev? I'm
hearing last week of June, but I'm not 100% sure, man.
Okay, there you go. I don't know. I mean, I saw the interview with Ilya talking to Heidi Androl. He wants the Islam fight. If they're going to do that, that makes sense, I think, for that card. If they do that, the other fight that obviously makes sense is Tom and Jones. I'm not convinced that fight happens, Marcel, by the way. Are you? Aspinall Jones?
I'm not sure, dude. I'm absolutely not sure.
Do you care about that fight? Do you care about it?
It has to happen. It's like the champion against interim champion, But the thing is, do I really... It's not something like I have to see, you know what I mean? Or my life isn't complete if it hasn't happened, you know what I mean? But yeah, it's like the champion against interim champion, so we got to do it. And
I agree.
There is no way around it, John Jones, listen, as long as John Jones is the champion, the heavyweight champion, he has to fight Tom Aspinall, and there's no way around it, And if he wants to fight Alex Pereira, that's okay, but he has to give up his belt, in my opinion.
I agree. All right. Let's go to the next fight here. Talashin Teixeira versus Justin Tafa. Definitely knocker of the night. I mean, incredible elbow, just shatters Tafa's nose, then beats him up with some knees and punches to the ground. 35-second knockout. I mean, there's not a ton you could take away from here other than this guy's fucking massive. Marcel, he looks so big in the cage. This guy looked like a super heavyweight, man. Any thoughts on this one quickly?
Yeah, I mean, that was so quick. I mean, I didn't even saw it until I watched the replay. I thought, what the fuck happened? At the moment I thought he got an eye poke or something, because Stafford was like doing like this, but he got the elbow, smashed his nose. I mean, good debut win for Teixeira. What else can I say? It was a good win for him, and it was a horrible loss for Tafa. He got finished the way he normally finishes people, by knocking them out. Yeah, I underestimated Teixeira. I didn't even overestimate Tafa, but I underestimated Teixeira. I was like,
yeah,
he won against that Arthur Lopez guy on the Contender Series, and I was and he got tagged also in that fight. And was like, the dude is not that good, the Lopez guy is not that good, and he got tagged by him. So I wrote a little bit too much into that, probably. Good win for Teixeira, man, and it's what heavyweight needs. Heavyweight needs some new guys, because heavyweight fucking sucks overall. So yeah,
he's pretty young. I think he's 20. He's 20. He's 25. He's 26 later this year. So he just turned 25 actually. So I mean, yeah, this is what you need, man. A big, strong, young heavyweight. I don't know how good he is, but I assume he'll be on the main card again. They always love putting these heavyweight fights. But yeah, I mean, this is the other option. Jonathan Denise's opponent. Who pulled out again, Marcel, that fight?
Vitor Petrino, who was gonna go to 265.
That's what happened. It's Conor fights against Nate Diaz December. I don't think Conor fights the UFC again. No. Early stoppage. I love Blake. Blake, you were there too. Blake was at the event. How was it, Blake? How was the crowd reaction? I want to hear your thoughts on that. I mean, we kind of were like. I mean, I wasn't so high in the card. Marcel thought it was a little better than me, but What do you think being live? Like, did you enjoy the card? Like, what were your thoughts on it?
Normally, when you're there live, you have a different experience.
Absolutely. Usually a more positive one, I would say. Usually.
Yeah, exactly.
Kyle predicting Hamza finished DBP. I mean, I think that's how most people would predict it, but not saying it's a lock. Yeah, the nose being shattered was nuts. Hamdi versus Teixeira, you could do that, but I feel like maybe it'll give him something even better. It was a really nice knockout. All right, next fight here, draw between Jimmy Crute and Rodolfo Bellato. Marcel, I think the draw is the only correct score. What do you think?
I heard a lot of people who were saying that Crute should have won, and I think like it depends on how you score. I think the second round, I think it could have been even. It would be possible that Crute won, but also a draw would be possible. Bellato could have won the round 2 and round 3, in my opinion. So
how did you score it?
I scored 10-8 the first round for Jimmy Crute. The second round was close. I didn't even have. I think Bellato just got by. I think agree. At the third round I gave to Bellato. So in my opinion, the draw was right. The thing was like if they gave it 10-9 to Jimmy Crute the second round, I wouldn't have complained about it.
No, I think it's the right score. I think the draw is the right score. The second round was competitive. Like there's definitely an argument you can make. So the 29-27 scorecard is not horrible. I don't think. I will say this though, like that first round is a textbook 10-8. Like, and they put the Twitter score. Sometimes they'll put me and you, Marcel. I always get scared that we're gonna have a really shitty scorecard that everyone just rips his part up. Kevin Ioli, a guy who watches the sport and covers it for a living, 10-9 Crute. How? I'm looking at the stats even. 1 knockdown, 27-1 in significant strikes, 59-4 in strikes, 4 minutes of control. How is that a 10-9? That's a textbook 10-8. The ref could have stopped the fight. Usually, Marcel, it's like it's getting borderline 10-8.
Yeah.
Complete domination in that first round. And then obviously he got tired, mouth wide open. Bellato took advantage. I think it was actually a pretty entertaining fight. It was one of the better fights in the card, in my opinion.
Surprisingly, yeah.
I thought this fight was going to be kind of like quick. That's what I thought. Like I assumed it'd be a quick finish. So kudos to these guys for making it to 15. Bellato's pretty tough, man. Both his fights in the UFC, Marcel, he got dropped in the first round and came back and he won the first round at Ihor, and then he forced a draw here. I don't hate a rematch. Do you think that's possible, a rematch?
I mean, why not? Why not? You can do a rematch probably somewhere in the Apex.
Or they could do it in New Zealand. Like, that wouldn't be the worst. Or even Brazil.
If they go to,
yeah. Because I don't know what else you do with these guys otherwise. Like, do you cut Crute? Because he hasn't won a fight in forever.
I don't think so. I think he looked pretty decent. Only his
gas tank. I'd give him another fight, too. Because he's 3-2 in his last 5 fights. Such a weird record, eh? Like, there's like one draw. There's like one draw a year
against Alonso Manifield, right?
I know. There's like one draw a year in the UFC, maybe like 2 draws a whole year out of 500 fights. And this guy's 2 in his last 3. That's really weird. So yeah, I think that's definitely possible. In the Manifield fight, was it a point deduction? I can't remember what happened in that fight. Was it?
Yeah, it was a point deduction because he
eye poke.
I don't know anymore, but there was a point deduction 100%. Yes.
I'm gonna double check right now. I want to see. It's on NBA decisions. They usually do show the point. I think it was an eye poke, but I have to double check. It was point deduction, grabbing the fence. That's what it was for Manifield. That's what happened in the 3rd round. So, yeah, and we had a draw on that. Crute was minus 400 in the 3rd round. Are you sure? I think most people, honestly, Tristan, I respect your opinion. Most people had a draw, like I would think. But I do feel like a 29-27 is possible too. So 10-7 first round. I don't know if it got there. What do you think? 10-7? I don't think so. I think 10-8 is perfect. What do you think? Marcel, first round?
Nah.
10-8. Yeah, I agree. Did Blake answer us? Oh, here. Blake's here. Blake's thing. Crowd was hilarious. Made a mediocre card much more exciting. There you go. See, that's what I thought, Marcel. So there you go. Yeah, he's saying in the 3rd round, though, true. I don't think it would have been at that point. The 10-8 helps, though. Although, again, there's some journalists that had 10-9 in the first round, which is crazy.
The Blake, Sam Greco. I always, when I see his gym name, I think it's like some steakhouse, man. What's Stewie and Steve or something? What's the name of the gym?
Sam Greco's gym?
No, yes. Check it out. Let me see. It's Sam Greco's gym. It sounds like a fucking steakhouse instead of a gym. Let me see. Oh, Stewie's house. Stewie's house of BJJ.
That's funny. Stewie from Family Guy. Do you guys like the idea of 0.5 scoring so that we get 10 to 8.5? Like, there's definitely some merit to this, and we've heard about this before. Actually, there was a promotion in Canada called MFC like 10 years ago. They did it 0.5. There's a fight between, rest in peace, Ryan Jimmo. He fought Sokoju in Canada, Marcel, like 10 years ago, and they had scores with 0.5s in it. I don't think it was the worst thing, but the thing is, like, I think these guys are so stupid that they can't even use the scorecards correctly now. And there's so many times where they can't even add up the scores correctly after. You're going to add 0.5s. These people are idiots, man. So I don't think it will happen.
I also think like a lot of fans still have no idea what a split decision means, you know?
Sure.
I mean, sometimes I hear people say like, I scored at a split decision. And it's like,
they're basically saying it was like a close fight, but they don't know what it means.
Are you multiple? Yeah. You can only like, I mean, they probably mean with the split, they think in their mind the split decision is I gave 1 round to that guy and 2 rounds to that guy. That's not a split decision, you know? A split decision is that you have like you can have 2 people having a split decision, but not 1 person, you know?
I'll say this too. I actually think the judging was good on this card. I think they got them all right. There was a few weird scorecards, but I think overall, like, they did well and much better than the Rosenstrike Tuivasa fight with the split decision. Marcel, they got rid of that Howie Booth guy and never brought him back. So, you know, that scorecard, Dana banished him, banished you to the shadow realm. All right, opening the main card, Jake Matthews defeats Francisco Prado, unanimous decision. This fight was kind of boring, I think, personally. This fight should have never been the main card opening it. What do you think?
Yeah, man. I expected more from Prado, to be really honest, man. I think
you shouldn't fight at this weight class.
Yeah, and I think Matthews made it. Listen, I like Prado a lot. I think he's an action fighter, but Matthews made it look easy because, like, he's like a veteran, you know, and he kept Prado like away from him. Kept it pretty technical, I think, and it was actually a perfect matchup for Matthews, man. And to be honest, I thought Prado would be able to close the distance, but he wasn't. Yeah, good win for Matthews, man. He called out Neil Magny. I think it's a perfect call out. You know, I think Neil Magny after it replied as well, like, let's do it. You know, I'm down with it. Oh, he said
that? Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So
I think it's a great fight. I think it makes a lot of sense.
Very smart call out.
Neil's a veteran. Is Neil ranked anymore? He might not be in the rankings now, right? Is he still 15th? Let me double check.
Just in, I think, or maybe just out.
Neil is.
You check?
He's not ranked anymore.
Okay.
But it's still like he's probably like the 16th guy. So it makes sense. I think it's a good fight. I like that one. Chicago, a fight night. I don't know. They haven't really said. I mean, that's the thing. Like, a lot of people are saying maybe they'll do, Bilal in Canada. But if they're going to go to Chicago, maybe they're going to do Chicago in June. Like, maybe they'll do 2 pay-per-views in June. Or so, like last year, they did Makhachev and Poirier in New York, New Jersey, and then they did the International Fight Week later in the month. So
they always do, like, I think 2 times a year they do 2 pay-per-views a month. You know, and with maybe being International Fight Week being late June. You have a possibility that they do early June another pay-per-view. I think so too. Yeah.
Yeah, it's possible. Brazil, I don't think it has a pay-per-view scheduled right now.
No, there was supposed to be like a fight night event in Brasilia, I think.
I'm not convinced that these fights that are on 313, half the fights are Brazilian guys. Like, I think those fights were supposed to be, right?
Yeah, I got told. I think that there was supposed to be. They were supposed to go to a pay-per-view in Brazil, but they're probably not going to do that, and that's why they put so many Brazilians on that 313 card.
Yep.
It's Dana's love letter to Brazil, you know.
I think every time they've been in Chicago, it's been a pay-per-view. I'm not saying that this one will be necessarily, but I think they've always done pay-per-views there. Also, they have 2 champions from there. Like, they have Bilal and
Juliana. The problem is, like, the UFC has so many contracts. They have like a contract for New York in November. They got a contract for Abu Dhabi in October. Australia. They have like Australia contract. You know, they have one for Salt Lake City every year. They have for so many places a contract for pay-per-views, actually, that there are only limited pay-per-views that can go to other places, you know. So, yeah.
Hey, if it's a fight, that's fine too. I just think, like, they've only done pay-per-views there, so it would make more sense. I look at Blake. He's trying to troll you. I scored Matthews a probably split decision. He's trolling you, Marcel.
I'll troll him after 313.
Yeah. What's up, man? Open scoring, I'm not a fan of it. I'll tell you why. I just feel like it takes away some of the anticipation. Excitement. Yeah, it does. And I know they do it in Invicta, but I mean, I feel like I don't think it's the thing. Like, even if you have open scoring, the fighters know. Like, so what? So if they have bad scorecards, like, it's still a bad scorecard, it's still bad judging. I think again, this card I think did a good job with the judging, but I think you just need to get rid of bad judges and bring in good judges. But there's not a lot of good judges out there.
I still think my idea, and a lot of other people are also behind it. Yeah, Why do judges have to be? And I don't want to take their spot away, but why do they have to?
Because they want that job, and I talked about this. They have a great job. They have one of the best jobs in the business.
I know,
they have a cage side seat, right? They get a free ticket. They get meals. They get room and board. They get paid to watch the fights.
And they don't have to. Yeah, they don't have to be cage side to score a fight.
They don't need to be. They don't. So, it's crazy. Like, we actually do, I think, a better job, as fans and media, of scoring the fight, watching on the TV now, and the TV has better angles, I would say, too, because you can't hear the impact as much, though. That's one thing which I do understand. The impact you can hear when you're there, so, and you can see up close, like, cuts and visual damage. So I get that, but I still think there's a problem with it. Anyways, the canceled pay-per-view May Brazil. No, they're going to Montreal. It's Montreal in 15th. They're not going to do two pay-per-views in May. They might do two in June. They might do two in was it October, I think, right?
Yeah, it's so fucking weird, man. They go to Montreal, but then 1 week before Montreal, they have put already two Canadians on that
City
card.
And Robertson. I think it's because they'll probably put the French guys on the Montreal card.
Yeah, maybe.
All right, let's go through the prelim. Yeah, let's go through the prelim somewhat quickly. Gabriel Santos defeats Jack Jenkins. Really nice comeback here. Jenkins drops him early. Jenkins got like some sort of nasty injury. Like, he's in the hospital. I think he got released now, but he got hurt. But regardless, I mean, Santos, nice finish. And I think this is a great win for him, and puts him probably in line for a top 15 opponent, I would think, right?
Bro, we both love Gabriel Santos, Moscatino,
I like both guys more so. I like Jenkins too.
I know you like Jenkins a lot too, but I like Jenkins, but I still think like he got lucky in the Amherst fight. I think he clearly lost that one, and this one, he looked good early on. He got with the head kick. He almost finished him. But Santos, at a certain moment, and that's fight IQ, in my opinion, saw that his ground game was much better than Jenkins.
Superior. Absolutely.
And he went for it. And he got the finish. Yeah, I mean,
he fought well, and the finish was nasty. And again, they made 7.7 million on the gate. They could have given him an extra 50K. They could.
Yeah. Plus, if you think about it, he lost his first two fights in the UFC. I still think he beat Murphy, to be honest. And yeah, he got caught against Onama, but he looked amazing before the finish. So I think he's really good. And no disrespect to Jenkins, I think he's talented as well. We'll see him for sure. We will see him back.
Tom Nolan defeats Vyacheslav Borisov. Unanimous decision. I don't know how the one judge scored 30-27, though. That's a little weird, because clearly Borisov won the last round, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. And I'm kind of upset with Tom Nolan because we didn't see Vyacheslav Borisov dance afterwards because he won. Just kidding, man.
By the way, you see him? He had that Santa hat and gave the guy a present at the weigh-in. Did you see that? Yeah. That's awesome. Borisov, by the way, Borisov has lost three of his, he's 1, 2, and 1 in his last 4. Like, I think they'll keep him because he's exciting, right?
That Jean Top fight, he also got almost a Jean Top win, so he could have been even worse. But the guy
Tom Nolan, he's exciting. I wouldn't cut him.
Yeah, I gotta give Tom Nolan credit, man. I think it was that was the best performance so far in the UFC. I think, and he didn't get dropped.
He didn't get hurt. Yeah. He always gets dropped or rocked or hurt in his fights, right? Yeah. So
he looked good. I think
it was a good performance. Again, he's so big for this division, 6'3", 155. I think he's going to eventually move up in weight. He's still really young. He's 25, he's 24. He's turning 25. He's still super young. It was a good performance,
After the fight, I congratulated Nolan King. I was like, "Nice win, dude." He's like, "Thanks, bro."
Yeah, it's funny. His brother Tom. Who should he fight? I think this is a decent win. I mean, Slava's not amazing, but it's a decent win.
Give him a shot.
Sure, why not? Actually, no. Give him. Well, Machado lost to Moda. I don't think they do that.
Yeah, give him Moda. Oh no, Moda. He lost to Moda.
They could do a rematch. They could, because he was like minus 500, I think, in that fight, and he got knocked out.
Yeah, give him Padilla 155er, or give him Kyle Nelson.
Sure, I still think they'll probably give him someone off a win. I mean, it doesn't really matter. We're splitting hairs here at this point. Yeah. Give him Quillen Salkild. Give him that.
Give him Anshul Jubilee.
How about Charlie Campbell? That would be a fun one. You like that one? 2-0?
Yeah, why not? Charlie Campbell also
and
fought.
Tom Nolan would be a fun fight, actually.
And he fought Borchev, Charlie Campbell.
Yeah.
Right?
He did?
Oh, no, Charlie Campbell fought Chris Duncan. I'm sorry, Chris Duncan fought Vyacheslav.
Yeah, Chris Duncan's fighing Jordan Vucevic.
Vucevic, yeah.
It says Chris Padilla is at 155. He's fighting Jai Herbert. So there's a lot of fights booked. I'm just looking at the rankings, like lower, in the rankings. Yeah, we'll see what happens. I mean, again, there's a lot of options. A lot. No, they're different weight
Plus
classes.
170.
Yeah, man, and he'll probably have to move there eventually. I just looked at his scores, Tristan. I mean, I Tristan, I respect your opinion. I'm not sure I agree with you on this one because the left of you guy, I know you've mentioned a few times in the chat. I did quickly check. Like, I don't think his scores were that bad on this card, man. Like, he had one bad score, which was a 30-27 in this fight. But he had 49-46 in the Zhang fight, which is fine. The draw, which is fine. And Mikhailov 29-28, that's fine. Like, I don't think those are bad scores. Do you?
No, not particularly. No,
I think
really.
the 30-27 is bad, so I'll give you that one. But 1 out of 4. To be fair, you probably shouldn't get any of them wrong, but I think
It's okay.
All right, let's go to the next one. Wong Tong defeats Bruno Brazil. That's Tristan's girl. Tristan, your girl got beat, bro. Wong Tong, 103 strikes landed. Marcel, significant strikes landed. Yeah, I mean, pretty like one-sided fight, right? Would you say?
Fight fucking sucked, dude. I mean, it was not a good
They
fight.
were going off how good Wong Tong looked, how amazing her striking is.
Of course, because they want to hype her up again. She was clearly a step ahead of Bruna. Sure. And Bruna should go back to 115. To be honest,
Why did she take this fight 125? Was it just short notice?
An opportunity. I think it's an opportunity. She was like, this girl lost. She had still some hype. Let's try to get one in. And also like. Listen, man, I love Caio Baralho. He's a great dude, really, really nice to talk to as well. But he said to Bruna in between the rounds, it's 1-1. I was like, dude, that's not
advice. Unless you're like 100% sure because you had like 4 minutes of control time or something and a knockdown, you shouldn't ever say that stuff.
Caio, legit good dude, by the way, so I don't want to hate on him at all. One of the nicest guys, actually.
Screw up the crude fight. The Lefty B, you're pissed. You're still pissed at Lefty B. Bruna didn't bring a fight, no. Scared to throw? Probably. There wasn't her best performance. Face-off was awesome. This was one of the best face-offs. Batman versus the Joker. Very cool. Yuvov Kyle, yeah. We talked about these fights. We liked them. Izzy and Yuri, I mean, I think, who was Yuri calling out? He was calling it Dricus? Was that who he called out? Yuri? I saw him tweet something about Dricus.
Yeah, he said that was something like that was well done. No technique, nothing but still a great win.
I'll be honest, man. DDP and Yuri would be the sloppiest fucking amazing fight of all time. So I wouldn't mind that. Can tell Bruno's kinky with the Batman mask. Actually, she's got her girlfriend in the corner too, I think, right? She's her coach too.
Yeah.
It's not just the guy. It's sometimes the. I get what you're saying too. Like a lot of people meet each other in the gym. I understand.
Yeah, that's it.
But like, I still think you shouldn't mix personal with.
I mean, Amanda Nunes also always had Nina Ansaroff in her corner. So I mean,
was she your head coach or was it Conan Silveira?
No, it was Conan, obviously. Yeah,
it's okay if they're behind the fence, Marcel. You're okay to have that person, but Tristan, this guy's the best, man. He loves this girl.
Tristan, I hope so.
Yeah, Alexandre Topuria defeats Colby Thickness decision. Honestly, this fight kind of sucked. What do you think?
Yeah, I only like the thing when Colby flew with Topuria Airlines. Yeah, that was beautiful.
The suplex was sick at the end of the first round, I was going to say. But, like he did the Brock Lesnar thing.
But the thing is, like, a lot of people on the internet want to compare the other guy with Alexander and Ilya because they're brothers and they have the same stance or something. I don't see that. I see the same stance, but I don't see that. I think Alexander did well, But for example, if he fought Cody Haddon, I would have picked Cody Haddon. You know what I mean? So
same here, I would too. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, listen, good. It was a good debut. I don't think it was anything special, but it was good. It was solid what he did, and good for him, man. I mean, happy for him. But we need to see more. There are a lot of people already is like, he's the next big thing. I don't know, man. We have to see more. We have to really see more. Yeah.
No, fair enough. I agree. Yes, Pato, she is. You can check her Instagram, which I'm sure you checked before.
She posted a picture of with her girlfriend and with Gilbert Burns with the title 3 Lesbians.
A lot of the women fighters are lesbians. I mean, that's just fact. And you know what? There's probably a lot of men fighters that are gay and that we don't really know about.
They're all sisters.
I have no problem with that, by the way. If there are, I mean, I think it's that's just. Normal.
That's private,
Yeah. I'm just saying. I think that people are probably afraid to come out. I would get that, because it's such a manly sport and everything.
Let's be honest. I understand that, man. That's difficult,
It is. But I think, like, in this day and age, I think people are more accepting of it. And you look at sports like the NFL. You've had guys come out, NBA, But yeah, I mean, I just think there's probably some people that, for me, it doesn't matter. Like, I have no problem with that.
I mean, for me neither, man. Just, I mean, if you're gay, come out, but just don't stand behind my back. But I mean, you come out, whatever you want. I'm not against it.
Hey, it doesn't bother me at all. All right, let's go to the next fight here. Fight of the night: Rong Zhu defeats Cody Steele by decision. Fucking amazing fight. That first round was round of the year. I think it was probably the best fight of the year so far. Just two guys slugging out toe to toe. Rong Zhu looked so good in this fight. Like, he looked so improved. It was a really impressive performance. I thought really good head movement in this fight. Good striking. I think he looked amazing. And Cody Steele, I mean, dude, he wanted his bonus, but he didn't wrestle at all. Just stood and traded and got caught with a bunch of punches. Credit to him. His chin is amazing, obviously. But yeah, I mean, this was a beatdown. What do you think?
The whole fucking fight, DC and Bisping called him a wrong Jew. They didn't call him Wrong Zhu, but Wrong Jew. Like, what the fuck? It was a great fight. I underestimated Wrong Zhu, obviously. I thought Cody Steele would pretty much walk through him, take him down, and probably get a finish there. He didn't. I think Steele's game plan was a little bit weird, in my opinion. At the same time, it got a 50K. It lost him his undefeated record, but it was a great fight. And does he lose any stock over it? I don't know, man. We'll see. But I don't know. What would you have preferred, to stay undefeated and just got to win by using your ground game, or losing your debut and getting 50K?
No, you know what? I can kind of understand it too, because I mean, listen, he's getting paid 12-12, right? So this more than quadruples his pay by getting the 50K bonus. Plus, it makes a name for him, because people are, to be honest, more people are likely to remember him now for putting on a great fight than wrestling his way to a decision. And to be honest with you, like, it might not even work, because if you look at this fight, like he did attempt 4 takedowns, only landed 1, and had barely any control. So I just think the story of the fight was Rong Zhu making huge improvements from his last fight and his last couple of fights.
He went to CKB, right?
Yeah, I think that helped. Again, what happens when you have a good coach like Behrman in your corner? What happens? You probably put on a decent performance, because
he looked good, best so far in the UFC.
Yeah. I was impressed, man. It's a guy that's had 2 stints down the UFC, and we talked about it last week. Like, he didn't look horrible against Chris Padilla, but he got cut open and the fight got stopped. Really impressive. Actually, I'm going to ask you this: who do we give him next? At
Wrong Zhu, who give him
at lightweight? I mean, they could do him and Tom Nolan. Actually, they could. Now that I
give him Mota.
Yeah, be a fun fight. You know what? Bang on. There you go. Oops. I think you got it though, Marcel. I know. I just pulled it. I was so excited. I like that.
That's not really odd, dude. You pulled it out because you were so excited.
What? Mota's just going to fight all the Chinese guys now? He's going to fight Ma Shata, and he's going to fight Rong Zhu. Who else has a name? He's
Carlos Hernandez. He's like the next Carlos Hernandez.
Actually, I don't mind that at all. I think it's a really good show.
Yeah.
Couple of comments about Molina. That's funny, guys. Yeah, I think Colby didn't look good. I saw some people picking Rong Zhu. I wasn't like convinced, but that's a great bet if you made it. I mean, really sharp, sharp pick on that one for sure. I didn't know Rong. Yeah, he did. Team China parlay. Who'd you have? Rong Zhu and Weili Zhang. Is that who you had? Nice pick. And is Wong Tong is Chinese too, right, Marcel? The 3 of them? Wong Tong, Chinese?
Yeah.
So 3 of them on this card. Okay. They might ever make a YouTube on the prelims between MMA Crew and Joey. I don't know, man. I don't know. We'll stay away from that. His chin looked awesome. Cam Rowston, is he gonna? Oh yeah, you went to that internal card. How was that, Blake? Cam Rowston fought on Contender against, was it Torres Finney? I think, right?
Yeah, he did.
Maybe he'll be back on Contender this year. So yeah, he's so young. He's like 30-something fights. It's crazy, Rong Zhu. He's been fighting since he was like 14 or something. Crazy. All right, 2 more fights really quickly. Jonathan McAuliffe, I think he had a tremendous performance here against Kevin Jousset. The kicks were just incredible in the first 2 rounds. Lost the 3rd round, got tired, but the output in the first round was high. I like McAuliffe now as a prospect. I wasn't sure about this one either, though. Like, I was kind of on the fence. Like, I don't think Jousset is great. I thought the experience would help him, but bro, I think the story was just McAuliffe looked amazing. What do you think?
Bro, dude had a fucking bat as his leg, man. That's how hard he kicked.
Holy shit.
Yeah, he kicked so hard. First 2 rounds, he looked amazing. Like you said, 3rd round was for Jousset, but probably because it was a little bit gassing.
Yeah.
I mean, good debut. I mean, what can you expect? I mean, Jousset had a pretty hype behind him when he fought Battle, I remember.
Sure.
But yeah, he lost to Battle, but we all know Battle was pretty solid.
That was good.
So,
Great
yeah,
fighter.
so it's a great debut win, in my opinion, for Mikhailov. So, or Mikhailov, or however you say it. Mikhailov. I fucking suck. Mikhailov.
Yeah.
So, yeah, good win for him, man. He looked good on the Contender Series against Muhammad Adu. So, this is even better.
Yeah, I wasn't sure with that one because the Muhammad guy, the Canadian guy,
recently.
he just lost. So I was like, maybe that win sounds good. But I thought he'd have to take him down in this fight. Dude, he stood and traded and looked better than just stay on the feet. And they will be at the card. Cool and Salkill knocks out Anshul Juby 19 seconds. You know, some people complain about the stoppage. I think the ref was fine stopping this one. The guy went face first in the ground, second fight in a row. You know, a lot of people are shitting on Jubilee too, making fun of the guy. You know, there's something about him working at Uber Eats I saw on the internet. I don't even know if it's true. It might be a joke. I don't know. Even if he does, though, I mean, you have to make money. Alexandra Pantoja used to work for Uber Eats.
Yeah, man, I don't mind, but the thing is, like, I think Jubilee said that he could beat Islam Makhachev and Khabib.
Yeah, he talked a lot of shit for sure. I think you got to be confident, you know, in the sport. But yeah, I mean, the guy
just don't do it, you know.
He's been knocked out in his last 2 fights. And by the way, I know you, and it's not you, but the UFC says, oh, that fight was Saraki's not a UFC fight. Okay, then why did he get a UFC bonus then?
I fully agree with you. They just should count it, you know, if it's on the UFC card. I agree with you.
Really weird.
Yeah.
I wouldn't cut Jubilee though. I'd give him one more. Would you give him one more?
If they want to build somebody up, probably yes.
Who can we give Jubilee, guys? Let's find last thing we're gonna do here. Who can we give Anshul Jubilee?
Who is on the bat run at 155?
Who's the worst lightweight in the UFC? That's the question. Let's take a look. I'm looking at the worst ranking, the worst records. Demir Hadzovic has a bad record. That's an option. I mean, they could do Cody Steele, I guess. He did lose. There's not a ton of options here, man, to be honest with you. Muhammad Yahya, they could do that fight. That one. Mm-hmm. Landon Quinones, that's another guy. Rolando Bedoya, he's 0-3. They could do him.
Yeah.
Victor the Brick Martinez. Like, I think he could beat that guy, maybe. It's possible. I think they're going to give him one more. I know a lot of people want to shit on the guy, and he's kind of become a meme almost, but I think there's still. I mean, fuck, he could probably be Kron Gracie at this point. Fuck, who knows, right? Give him one more, Marcel. Let's give the guy his last.
I'm good with it. If you want to give him one more, I'm good with it, man. You know.
Look, Pato the same matchup as me. Victor,
you're such a sweetheart, you know.
I'm too nice. I'm not like McMaynard cutting guys.
Yeah, Adam is Canadian. I mean, what else can I say?
But I will say this: they're cutting people off 2-fight losing skids now. I think Jusei might get cut. I could see him being cut. Could you?
Possible. Yeah, that's possible. I think.
From this card, let's go through the card. I think Jusei might be in. Obviously, Jubilee could be on the cut list. Tafa could be. Again, they like heavyweights, but yeah, very possible. Prado 1-3. I mean, he's young. They probably keep him, but maybe. Barshav, not a great record.
I would give him Prado if Prado goes back to 55.
They could do that too. Yeah, I think honestly, like, they'll probably cut a few of these guys, but I think Jusei gets cut. I think he does. Because he's actually getting worse almost, Marcel, I would say, like his performances. Anyways, overall, I mean, it wasn't a great card. I think we've done over an hour here, guys. So,
we still talk more than an hour over this card. So, I mean.
Okay, I told Marcel, I'm like, I don't want to go past an hour, and we did it. So, I fucked up. All right, 108, that's a good time to end this. All right, guys, appreciate you guys joining us for the UFC Free-Talk Recap. Join us in a minute here.
Let's get one more question in from
UFC
Antoine.
Vegas 102. Last question, very last question for our boy Antoine, because we love you. Who do you guys like next for Talisha Teixeira?
I give him the winner of Waldo Cortez Acosta against Ryan Spann.
You're giving a ranked guy already, eh? Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's possible. I would give someone else had mentioned Jonathan Denise, who actually is ranked, I guess, technically. Maybe the winner of Mario Pinto versus Austin Lane is another option. The winner of the fight between Walter Walker and Dontel Mays, who's also ranked.
Yeah, what the hell?
Bro, the division's terrible.
But seriously, listen, man, I don't want to shit on Dontel Mays, but how the hell does he get ranked out of all the other guys who were under him, you know?
By the way, how is Lucas Dreschke still on the roster? What the fuck? 1-5 on the roster still. It's crazy.
Yeah, they cut Rosenstrike.
I don't understand that cut. He probably makes too much money. That's probably what it is.
That's probably what it is, yeah.
Yeah. All right, guys, give me a minute here. I'm going to tweet out the UFC Vegas 102 preview, and we'll see you guys then. Give me a minute.